Hey guys, my name is Alexandra Valentine and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Please, if this is your first time on this channel, kindly give this video a thumbs up, hit on the subscribe button and also hit on the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. In today's video, we are going to be sewing this corset dress here. Is actually a three-part corset with a double keyhole at the chest area. So if this is something you would like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end. If you missed the cutting part of this video, I'm going to link it in the description box below. So I have gone ahead to use my pattern paper and cut it on my fabric. So what I just did around the bust area like this, I used half inch to cut it. Then by the two sides I used 0.75 inches. So by the size I use 0.75 inches, then around the bust I use half inch to cut it. Then for these cups I used 0.5 inch to cut it round. That's half inch to cut it round. Then for the yoke for the front part, I also used half inch for the keyhole side, then the neckline and also at the shoulder area. But when it comes to the armhole, I cut it equal. I did not add any allowance. Now for the back back bodies, at the top area I cut 0.5 inch. Then for the sides I used 0.75 inch to cut it. This is because I don't want to sew a bias that is going to go across the dress. I want it to I want the boning to be attached to the fabric itself. Then for the yoke of the back, I I just cut through with half inch, adding half inch as allowance round, just all through. Now this is the front bodice. This is the bodice for the front. This is just me taking out the lining pieces. So we have the side front and also the center front. So the center front are the two pieces in the center, while the side fronts are the two pieces at the side. So I'm just going to stitch the that leg with 0.75 that I added earlier. Then when I do that, I will also stitch on the center by 0.75 as well. Then I'll come back and show you guys. This is what I have after I finished stitching it down. I also went ahead to open up the seam at the middle part, then stitch it down with 0.75. So why the reason why I stitch it down with 0.75, so 0.5 was because my boning width is 0.5. So that's just the reason why I stitch it down with 0.5. So if for the making of this breast cup, if you want to see how I achieved this breast cup, I'll drop the link in my description box below. So for this breast cup, I have attached it just like this. You saw me demonstrating earlier. I have attached it, and this is what I have for the two parts of the bra cup. So at the cuff area, I am going to um stretch out my fabric and then stitch it down like so with just a like quarter of an inch. I have done that and you can see that the cup now is very defined. I want to show you guys what we have here. This is what I did. I just stitched it down by a quarter of an inch. So this is more like creating a casing for our under bust wire. That's It's optional. If you want, you put it. If you don't want, it's totally up to you. It's fine if you don't put it. So on mine I did not put it, but if you want to put it, it's fine. So this is what we have. So I have also gone ahead to create the same thing for the lining piece, just the same way we did the front part. I have done that for the lining piece. So that aside, let's work on the yoke area. So I'm going to this is the yoke area. of which I added half inch all through aside the armhole part. So I also cut out two pieces for lining for the yoke area. So I'm going to stitch around this curve, that's the keyhole, and then the neck, that's the v-neck area. Let me do it again, the v-neck area and just the keyhole area, that's all. But for the shoulder and the armhole, I'm not going to stitch it down. I've done that, and this is what we have at the end of the day. So I'm just going to notch especially the deep curve area, so that it will be relaxed by the time I flip this over. So I'm just going to notch this and then I'll flip it over. Just watch what I'm doing. Over, this is what I have at the end of the day. So I'm just going to give this a good press, and I'll come back and show you guys what I'm going to do next. Now we'll take the bodice of our corset, that's the corset top, that's for the front itself. Then we'll take this yoke, the front yoke, and I was just going to pin it down on where it's supposed to be. So this v-neck is supposed to be, this v-point is supposed to be on the um on the at the center of this corset blouse. So there is a marking there. You guys are not actually seeing it. So there is a marking there that will indicate that that's the midpoint of this corset top. So I'm just going to use my pin and pin it down on the both sides, and I also pin it down on the other area as well. And I'm just going to pin it, I'll stitch it a little. Then this is what we have at the end of the day. So you can see what we have. I have gone ahead to stitch it, I've taken away the pins, and this is what we have at the end of the day. So right now we are going to flip this over, or yeah, flip this over with our lining. So I'm just going to turn the yoke facing me. Then I am going to take my lining piece and place it on top like this. Then I'll just stitch at the top area. Then I'll also notch it. Then I'll come back and show you guys what I have. So right now we are going to keep this front part aside and then work on the back piece. And as usual, I'm going to stitch this part now with 0.75 inch that I added, and also this other side with 0.75 inch that I added. Then for the yoke, I'm just going to flip it with my lining pieces. The only part I'm stitching is round the neck across through to the keyhole for the back. Then I'll be back. So this is what I have. I have stitched down the 0.5 inch for the back. Then I'm going to like press this down, then stitch 0.5 inch for my boning case. You can see this is my boning case. I'm just measuring, showing you guys the reason why I will be stitching down this with 0.5 inch. So for the yoke area, I'm going to notch around this curve so that it will be able to relax by the time I flip it over. After I notch around the curve, that's the neck area, the neck and the keyhole area that I stitched, then I'll flip this over. Repeated what I did for the bodies for the back. For all, I've repeated it on the lining as well. So I'm just going to stitch down this area just to hold it there. It's not like it's going to be functional. Then the thing with voiceover is that you don't know what's coming up next. Okay, here now it's where the shield will be attached. Two lining piece, right? That's for the back, two lining parts for the back. So one, the shield will be carrying the shield, while the other one will just be there laying flat. So for the shield, this is my shield. It's going to be 13 by 10 inches, just what works for you. But the length should be lesser than what you have at the back from starting from the keyhole, and the width should be should be wide enough so that you're able to cover all your back. So this is what I have. I'm just going to stitch across like this, but this part will be opened, and because that's where I'm going to flip it from. So that opened part is where I'm going to sandwich into between this lining, then I'll stitch it with 0.5 inch. So this is what I have at the end of the day from all the whole pieces that I've used. So this is the lining part carrying the shield. So it's going to correspond with its own, or it's going to, yeah, it's going to tally with its own fabric. So the first thing we want to do is to attach our yoke. So I'm going to flip my yoke like this, making sure the right side is facing each other. Then I'll stitch across. Then I'll also put the yoke on the other side as well. Then I'll stitch across. So please make sure that your yoke is starting from where it's supposed to start from. So mine is starting from this point. So I'm just going to place the other one correctly. So I'm going to cover this now, more like sandwiching it with my lining piece. So I'll stitch across at the top and at the side as well. Then I'll also do the same thing for the other side, just that the other side now will be carrying the lining um with the shield. So you want to make sure that the shield is not in the way of your sewing. Just take it one side, then you stitch. And this is what I have, guys. I have stitched this, so I'm just going to bring everything out so you see the end result. I want to make the the casing or the channels for my eyelets, where my eyelets will be sitting. So I'm going to make 3 stitches across straight line with a distance of 0.5 inches between them. So I'm just going to make um three lines, 3 stitching lines across at this end point here. So I'm going to make 3 of them with a distance of 0.5 inch between them. And that is what I have done. So the next thing now is to insert my boning into those channels that I have created, those straight lines that I stitched earlier. So I'm just going to insert my boning into it. So I'm going to insert my boning to the first one, into the first one, like this. Then I'll skip the second one, and that's the second channel. Then I'll insert in the third one. So the one in the middle, that's the second channel, will serve as where my eyelet is going to stay. So you want to make sure that when you're inserting this boning, that it's there's space at the top bottom. You can see I'm just trimming this because it was long and there was no space. Reason being that you want to be able to stitch around that part when you are folding or hemming this the corset. So I am also inserting my boning along the dart line that we stitched down earlier. So at the back here we have like 3 bonings. So right now I'm going to take this piece of fabric, this piece of black fabric, and I'm going to use it to hem or fold that part. So I'm going to repeat the same process for this part, and I'll come back and show you guys what I have. So for the front part now, I am going to insert my bonings into all the casings that I have created earlier. Just make sure that when you're inserting your bonings that there's a space at the bottom so that you'll be able to fold that at least half an inch space so that you'll be able to fold or stitch down, yeah, or hem the base of your corset. So I'm just going to insert my boning through into all the channels that I have created. So I have done that, and I'm going to use um that same piece of fabric, black fabric. This piece of fabric is like 2 inches wide. So I am going to use this piece of fabric to like hem the base of this corset. So you're going to stitch it like this, then you flip it to the other side and you top stitch, like you fold it to the other side, just like piping, using a pliers to pipe an edge. So this is what I have at the end of the day. You can see we have a clean finish at that bottom right there. So the next thing to do, okay, this is also the back. I've also hemmed or piped that area. This is what we have for the back. Right now, we will want to join the two sides of both the back and the front. So I'm going to join both of them like this, then the sides with 2 inches allowance that I used in cutting these clothes. The allowance that I added, if you added 3 or 1.5, you are just going to make sure that you stitch that and also stitch the shoulder area. This is what we have at the end of the day. I have stitched this with 2 inches on the side, and I've also notched that area so that this part will be able to relax. I notched the waist area. So I do this method because I will want to be able to adjust it, because some people will do an inseam finishing where you will not see the joining from any place, but I want to be able to adjust this anytime, any day without going through a lot of stress. That's the reason why I use this method. So you can see I have done justice, like I have stitched back down the shoulder and the sides. So the next thing to do right now is to create a hole for our eyelet. Attach the eyelet and also join the sleeves, and that will be all for this corset dress. So just watch me as I go through the process. So this is the sleeves. I'm just going to gather it at that point on the sleeve area, on the armhole area, and I am going to punch a hole on the eyelet channel. And also, okay, I've done that already. Then fix my eyelet with a puncher. So that will be all for this video. If this is something you enjoyed watching, kindly give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to join the fam. Hit on the notification to get notified whenever I post a new video. Please, I would love to see you guys recreate this dress. But for now, bye.